What if your anxiety is not only in your mind? What if your depression, brain fog, low motivation, mood swings, and emotional crashes are not separate mental problems, but signals from your body? For years, we have been taught to treat mental health like it lives only inside the brain. But your brain is fed by your blood. Your blood is built from your food. Your gut produces mood chemicals. Your sleep rebuilds your nervous system. Your movement physically changes your brain. So maybe your mind and body were never separate. Maybe we were looking at the problem all wrong. Welcome to Vital Unknowns. Today, we're revealing the real connection between mental health and physical health, and why healing your body may be one of the most powerful ways to heal your mind. The real war happening inside you. Here is the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. Depression is not just a feeling. It is a biological state. Brain scans of clinically depressed individuals show something shocking. The hippocampus, the brain's memory and emotional regulation center, is physically smaller, shrinking, like a muscle that stopped being used. And anxiety? A 2023 study published in JAMA Psychiatry found that chronic anxiety triggers sustained elevation of cortisol, your primary stress hormone. Sustained cortisol elevation does not just make you feel terrible. It inflames your gut. It weakens your immune system. It raises blood pressure. It accelerates cellular aging. You are not just sad. You are biologically under attack. But here is what changes everything. That same Harvard research found that exercise grows the hippocampus back. Not metaphorically, literally, measurably. In 12 weeks of consistent aerobic movement, participants showed a 2% increase in hippocampal volume, reversing up to 2 years of age-related shrinkage. Your brain can physically rebuild itself, and you hold the tools. The chemical truth they skip in school. Every time you move your body with intention, something extraordinary happens inside your skull. Your brain releases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF. Scientists call it Miracle-Gro for the brain. BDNF repairs damaged neurons, builds new neural pathways, and strengthens the connections responsible for focus, memory, emotional resilience, and decision-making. Antidepressants work by increasing serotonin availability. Exercise does the same thing. Plus, it boosts dopamine, norepinephrine, and endorphins simultaneously. No prescription, no side effects, no copay. A landmark study from the University of Toronto analyzed 1.2 million Americans and found that people who exercised reported 43% fewer bad mental health days per month compared to those who did not. That is not a small difference. That is nearly cutting your suffering in half. Here is the deeper truth. Physical health and mental health are not two separate systems running parallel. They are the same system operating at different levels. What you do to your body, you do to your mind. What you neglect in your body, you feel in your mind. Backhand index pointing right if this is already shifting how you see yourself. Subscribe right now. The next video covers the exact weekly routine that triggers BDNF production and reduces anxiety symptoms in under 21 days. The gut. The organ your therapist forgot. Ready for the fact that will genuinely disturb you? Approximately 90% of your body's serotonin is produced not in your brain, but in your gut. Your intestinal lining contains over 100 million neurons. Scientists now call it the second brain, and it speaks directly to your actual brain through the vagus nerve, sending signals that influence your mood, fear response, and emotional stability every single second of every day. When your gut microbiome is disrupted through processed food, poor sleep, chronic stress, antibiotics, those serotonin signals become distorted, scrambled. This is why people with irritable bowel syndrome have dramatically higher rates of depression and anxiety. This is why individuals with poor diets report significantly worse mental health outcomes regardless of therapy or medication. Your mental health crisis might be living in your stomach. A 2022 study in Nature Mental Health found that participants who shifted toward a whole food diet, vegetables, lean proteins, fermented foods, fiber, reported a significant reduction in depressive symptoms within 8 weeks. Not years of therapy, 8 weeks of eating differently, physical choices with direct mental consequences. The connection is not philosophical. It is biological. It is chemical. It is real. Sleep. the silent destroyer. Here is something the hustle culture crowd will hate you for knowing. Sleep deprivation after just 24 hours produces psychological symptoms nearly identical to early-stage schizophrenia. Paranoia, hallucinations, emotional dysregulation, distorted perception of reality. This is published, peer-reviewed neuroscience from UC Berkeley's Sleep Research Center. When you sleep, your brain activates the glymphatic system, a biological cleaning process that flushes toxic waste proteins from your neural tissue. One of those proteins is amyloid beta, the same compound that builds up in Alzheimer's patients. Poor sleep does not just make you tired. It leaves your brain sitting in its own toxic waste overnight. And the mental health impact? Adults sleeping fewer than 6 hours per night are 2.5 times more likely to develop clinical depression than those sleeping 7 to 9 hours, according to data published in Sleep Medicine Reviews. You cannot exercise your way out of chronic sleep deprivation. You cannot medicate your way past it. Sleep is not recovery. Sleep is construction. Your brain is being rebuilt every single night, or it is not. The vicious cycle no one draws for you. Here is the diagram your doctor never showed you. Poor physical health creates inflammation. Inflammation crosses the blood-brain barrier and disrupts neurotransmitter production. Disrupted neurotransmitters cause depression and anxiety. Depression destroys motivation to move. No movement accelerates physical decline. Physical decline creates more inflammation. Round and round, tighter and tighter. Most people enter this cycle and blame their personality, their weakness, their broken brain chemistry. They are not broken. They are trapped in a feedback loop that no one ever explained. But cycles can be broken at any point. One walk interrupts the inflammation. One good night of sleep restores neurotransmitter balance. 1 week of cleaner eating shifts the gut microbiome. 1 month of consistent movement rebuilds the hippocampus. The entry point does not need to be perfect. It just needs to exist. What science actually recommends? Based on current research from Harvard Medical School, the American Psychological Association, and peer-reviewed exercise neuroscience, the strongest mental health interventions are not always the most complicated. In fact, the things that genuinely move the needle are often simple, biological, and deeply neglected. Movement. Science repeatedly confirms that regular physical activity has a powerful effect on mental health. Around 150 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise per week, such as brisk walking, cycling, swimming, or jogging, can significantly reduce symptoms of depression. In mild to moderate cases, its effectiveness has been found to be comparable to first-line antidepressant treatment for many people. Sleep. 7 to 9 hours of sleep is not a luxury. It is a mental health requirement. A consistent sleep schedule, a dark room, a cool environment, and reduced screen exposure before bed are not minor lifestyle tips. They are part of emotional regulation. When sleep is poor, the brain becomes more reactive, stress hormones rise, decision-making weakens, and emotional resilience drops. If mental health is the goal, sleep cannot be optional. Nutrition. The brain is built from nutrients. What you eat directly affects neurotransmitter production, inflammation, gut health, and mood stability. Omega-3 fatty acids, fermented foods, leafy greens, adequate protein, and whole foods support the gut-brain connection. Your gut is not separate from your mind. It produces and regulates chemicals that influence mood, anxiety, energy, and focus. A poor diet does not only affect weight. It affects the chemistry through which you experience life. Social connection. Human beings are not designed to heal in isolation. Chronic loneliness increases cortisol and inflammatory markers and has been compared in research to the health impact of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Connection is not weakness. It is biology. Supportive relationships calm the nervous system, improve emotional recovery, and reduce stress responses. Human connection is not a luxury. It is a biological need. None of this is complicated. All of it is consistently ignored. You are not just a mind with a body attached. You are one connected system. Your movement changes your brain. Your gut shapes your mood. Your sleep controls emotional stability. Your food changes inflammation. Your relationships calm or activate your nervous system. Mental health and physical health are not separate battles. They are the same body speaking two different languages. If this changed how you see your mind, like this video, subscribe to Vital Unknowns and stay with us, because the next video will break down the routine that supports mood, focus, energy, and emotional resilience. Because sometimes the path to a healthier mind does not begin with another thought. It begins with one walk, one meal, one night of sleep, and one decision to stop treating your body like it does not matter.